What's going on, everybody? Noah Sanford here. We are actually hanging out in San Diego right now. I'm in my older brother's new house here in Southern California. In San Diego right now, helping him and his family move to a new house. So that's why we're obviously not in Boulder City, not in Vegas. So hanging out in San Diego right now. But I still have had a lot of time on Lake Mead this week. We just got here to Southern California last night, helped him move all day today. We're gonna be helping him move in the morning, and then we're back to Vegas. So a very short trip just to help out with some family stuff. So Monday and Tuesday, I was still out on the lake this week with some clients. So Monday, I was actually out with some guys from Australia, and Tuesday, I was out with two guys from New Zealand. So both customers found me online, obviously, because there's no Las Vegas sport fishing in New Zealand or Australia. And so they both found me on Google, I think, maybe YouTube, I'm not sure, but pretty cool to take out some guys from two different countries with very different experiences. And I'm gonna talk about how we caught our fish this week and how you can catch your fish going into the weekend. So starting off, guys, before we jump into it, I'm gonna talk about wind conditions and water temps. So the water temps we were finding throughout the week were, well, I guess on Monday and Tuesday, I haven't been on there since Tuesday, but the water temps on Monday and Tuesday were kind of in like the mid to high 50s. So I know they were peaking at 60 the other week. Now they're coming back down a little bit because we're getting those colder nights again. And so the water temps are looking at probably like between 57, 58, probably in there, like mid to high 50s. So that's kind of what you're gonna be looking at in water temps. That's gonna be very important, bringing me into my next point here in a minute. The wind conditions on Friday, it's supposed to be windy in the afternoon, but the morning looks great. So if you're going out Friday, check out the morning times a lot. Saturday looks pretty windy all day until the evening, and then Sunday you should be good all day. So best conditions for sure are gonna be Sunday. Friday morning looks manageable. Saturday afternoon is probably gonna be your best shot for Saturday. So enough of the water temps and the wind conditions. Let's go ahead and talk about what I did on my trips on Monday and Tuesday with my clients from New Zealand and Australia, and how we caught our fish. So both trips were actually pretty successful. We caught a decent amount of fish on both trips and also got some really good size. So I'll drop some pictures in right here so you guys can see a few of the bass that we caught. But as you can see, a couple really decent fish, especially for these difficult pre-spawn conditions in the end of February, beginning of March. And so bringing me into my next point, how we caught these fish. So most of the fish that we caught on Monday and Tuesday were on slower finesse techniques down on the bottom. However, on Tuesday, we spent about the last third of the day in that shallow water looking for bedfish. So believe it or not, guys, we actually found one smallmouth. I'll drop a picture in right here of this guy who caught a really nice smallmouth on a bed, guys. So this was like a 2.5 pound smallie, and believe it or not, we got it to eat a little white, I think it was a little white tube on a bed. We messed with this fish for probably 20-25 minutes, stuck the power poles down so we didn't drift around. It made it tough though because these clients had never bed fished before. They still did pretty well with it, but the tough part is that there was kind of a little bit of chop on the surface, so it was making it really difficult for us to see the fish down in the water. And so finally, probably about after 20 or 25 minutes, my customer hooked the fish, got it right up to the boat, and the fish spat it. Since that fish was just barely on a bed, I was for sure certain that we weren't gonna be able to get it to bite again. But believe it or not, we messed with it for probably another 20 minutes and got it to bite again, and we ended up landing it. So it was super cool. My only worry though is that going into the next week or two, we're gonna start to lose these few beds that we have. And the reason for that is because if you guys are Vegas locals, you'll know that it's been really warm, really sunny, and perfect conditions for these bass to start spawning, minus the fact that we haven't had that full moon. So typically when we get the full moon and the spawn, that's really what sets it off along with the warmer weather. So having this warmer weather has helped for sure. And obviously it's made a few of these very, very, very early spawn bass go up and make some beds. But the problem is now that the weather's cooling back down, we're getting cold, rain, wind, all that nasty conditions. I'm pretty sure all these fish are going to abandon their beds for the few that are up shallow and making those beds. So I probably wouldn't plan on looking for beds this weekend, but that's not to say they won't exist. So it's definitely possible that you might find a few bed fish, but I have a suspicion that most of them are going to be abandoning those beds and moving back out in that deeper water. So moving on to my last point, where to catch these fish. If I were to give you guys a recommendation, I'd stick to that 25 to 35 foot range still. targeting those main lake points, those drop-offs, those steeper cliffs, that kind of stuff, because those big females, those big ones that you want to catch, they're still going to be down in that deeper water, getting ready for the spawn and feeding on those big meals. So throw your big baits in that deeper water. That would probably be my biggest recommendation to get the biggest bite. If you want to get kind of an all-around mix, I would throw smaller baits in that deeper water. If you want to go for numbers, target those shallow male bass up in the shallow water with reaction baits. So that's kind of the overview for this weekend, guys. It was a really fun week, taking out those few guys from all over the country. It's one of the really cool opportunities I have being a fishing guide, is meeting people from all walks of life, meeting people from all different sorts of places throughout the world. I think I said country a minute ago, I meant world. Different guys from all over the world. It's a really cool thing to learn other people's cultures, have a full day on the boat with them, be able to talk to them about what their life is like in a different country, in a different place in the world. It's really cool, so I'm very fortunate to have the opportunity to do what I do for a living. Anyways, guys, that's enough of that. I appreciate you guys watching, all the support. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. My name's Noah Sanford. We'll see you guys out on the water when we're back in Vegas from San Diego.